Have you ever been traveling and gone to meet old friends that you hadn't seen in a while? You hang out, have a good time together, and they cook dinner for you? With some wild edible plants, once you get to know them well, it's the same sort of thing. If you haven't been where they live for a while, it's so great to go visit them, hang out, and they will feed you dinner, but you have to do the cooking yourself. I want to share with you a really wonderful dinner that I had in the north woods of the Minnesota-Wisconsin area a while ago. And even though I went into the woods, some of these plants can grow in your own garden or yards, or they may be in parks near you. So here's the setup. I was at a meeting in St. Paul, Minnesota a while ago. When it was over, they gave us all a takeout salad for our travels home. But I didn't want to go home yet. It was the perfect time of year, early May, to see if I could find my old friend, the ostrich fern. So after my meeting, I headed to the north woods in my rental car. I stopped at a little market and got a potato, some jerky snack sticks, and a box of aluminum foil. Let's go out into the woods and see what friends I was able to find. Some plants seem to grow everywhere. Look at all these dandelions here in the north woods. They aren't big like the ones I see in the Pacific Northwest, but these are in good condition. I'm getting leaves, the open flowers, and the unopened flower buds. Did you notice the violets growing in there with the dandelions? Violets are great. I'm picking the leaves and the flowers. These look like the common blue violets. I saw some dog violets too. There are a lot of different kinds of violets, but as long as they have their flowers open, it's easy to make sure that they aren't other plants that shouldn't be eaten. Then I saw the ground ivy. It's a perennial that roots all along its stem. You can see how it can take over a whole area. I don't eat a lot of the greens at any one time. It's more like a spice.
It's not the best quality. This stuff has been out in the sun, but it's still decent enough. It has a little spicy flavor, almost a little oregano-y like.
The flowers do taste different than the green parts.
Classic four-sided stem, big mint flowers. A little bit of sweetness with the flowers.
Next, I found a really nice tree, the American basswood. Some people know this as a linden tree. It has distinctive flowers that come out later in the season, but these early season leaves are so good. Man, that is as good as anything you get in a store. Whoa, basswood, one of the best leaves of ever. I found another common tree of the north woods at the perfect time too, the eastern white pine. The eastern white pine was just putting on its new growth.
That's just like coming across a little piece of meat almost. Of course, it doesn't have a meat flavor, but it has a nice savory flavor. Not citrusy, but savory. And it's got some nice texture to it that you can really chew on it. Not that it's hard to chew, but it's kind of just like a texture of meat. It's really something else. That is really good.
All these plants are great, but I'm still looking for my old friend, the ostrich fern. Oh yeah, I saw ferns.
Even though it has a little fiddlehead on it, like that guy, it's not really a fiddlehead, is it, right there? It's curled up, but it's not really a fiddlehead. And certainly that's not an ostrich fern. What about these? Are these the ostrich fern? No, they are not the ostrich fern. Why? Because they are round all the way. An ostrich fern has a U groove in it, has a big old groove in it. And these do not. And see, these don't have papery scales so much as they're just plain old fuzzy. That is not an ostrich fern. You can tell that. That's fuzzy, not scaly. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. See how fuzzy that is? So fuzzy and round. That's not a groove in that. Not at all.
Maybe the ostrich ferns haven't come up yet, so I'm looking for signs of them from last year. They're old spore fronds that come up in late summer after the main fronds are done. Finally, I found a whole stand of my old friends, the ostrich ferns. Look at them. Just look at all of them. Isn't that incredible and wonderful? It may look like there are hundreds and hundreds of ostrich ferns in this area, but really, most of these clumps are connected to each other underground because ostrich ferns spread by runners. So let's take a closer look. See that spore frond? You can see how that looks like an ostrich feather and why it's called an ostrich fern. Take a look at the main leafy fern fronds too.
Look at that. There is the beautiful ostrich fern. It's got a strong groove. Can you see that groove? In its stalk, a big U groove, completely distinctive.
I have to make choices now about which ostrich ferns I want to invite to dinner. Here's how I decide which ferns to pick. If you do it differently, let me know down in the comments below. In looking at this little clump, you can see where the term fiddlehead comes from. See those two little ones nestled down in the leaves? I'm not picking from this clump because it's not a vigorous, established clump of ferns. That round fiddlehead part is less than an inch around, and there should be at least 4 fronds in the ostrich fern clump. So taking one would leave enough fronds to grow and rebuild the underground reserves so that it can survive over the winter. Take a look at this clump. It's more vigorous. There's only 4 fronds, but the fiddlehead parts are larger around. My own personal preference is to pick from clumps that have even more fronds, at least 6 fronds, but that's just me.
That little platy scaly thing right there. See that with the papery on it? It's got a clear groove in that stalk. It's got a clear groove like a U, the papery scale.
This clump looks like a good size. Now, if you ever see ostrich fern fiddleheads for sale, they will be all coiled tight. That's because they keep in good shape in the refrigerator longer than the taller, more uncurled fronds. So let's see how my dinner turned out. It got pretty late in the evening before I was ready to eat. I'm gonna use that. I need to do a better salad than that. I had to build a campfire and get a good bed of coals first. Here's what I ended up with. If you enjoy eating any of these plants, tell me and everyone else how you're doing it down in the comments below. I really want to know. I ended up with dandelion leaves, 1 little chickweed stalk, and a few ground ivy stalks. I got some maple leaves, I got dandelion flowers, violet leaves, violet flowers, and oh boy, if I don't stop eating those. Those are the little growing tips from a white pine tree. This is white pine country, and those are good. But they have a nice flavor. If you like the resin, they're not strong. They're very mild. They're just great right now. Save that for the salad. And then let's take a look what we got over here. We really scored big. That is a bunch of basswood leaves. Those are so tasty. A basswood leaf, look at that. That is as good as any lettuce or spinach that you could buy. Those are good. So good. They're not sweet, but they're not bitter, they're not tart, they're just very mild. So I got some dandelion buds. I'm gonna have to clean these dandelion buds up and get those get that fringe off. And look what else I got. Oh yeah, fiddleheads. Fiddleheads. This is from the ostrich fern. It has a nice groove in it right there. Has this nice papery covering on it as it comes out of the ground. My plan is to take the salad apart and use the tomato and onion for a dinner that's cooked in aluminum foil in my campfire. It doesn't take very long to put the ingredients together with the sliced potatoes and the jerky sticks, with the clean dandelion buds and beautiful ostrich fern fiddleheads. I topped it all with the balsamic vinegar salad dressing. The thing is, ostrich fern fiddleheads need to be cooked well. They don't have to be blanched, but they do need to be well cooked. By the time the potatoes are done in my foil dinner, the fiddleheads will be cooked well enough too. While my foil dinner is cooking, I chop up all my other plants and add them to my takeout salad. Now see, that is a lot better looking salad. That dark green, that is all the wild stuff. Without a tripod and having to hold my camera and a flashlight, my live taste review is short, but this salad was really good. It's way better. A little bit of nature is very nice. By the time I finished eating my salad, my foil dinner was ready. Here's my taste review for that. Oh my, oh that's good. I can tell. I'm gonna eat these first. Absolutely delicious. It was such an enjoyable night with my old friend, the ostrich ferns, and the other plants. And here's the thing, even if you don't know these plants, they're out there waiting for you to take the time to get to know them, and then they can feed you dinner too. If you're interested in that sort of thing, consider subscribing and click the notification bell, and then take a look at my other videos too. I hope things are going well at your place. Thanks for watching. Bye.